What would you say to Tsarukyan?
Tsarukyan, you can go and weigh in as an alternate again, you know.
There we go. The message pretty
Wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi, but he won't do a quick turnaround like that, which I understand, you know what I mean? You've just done a fight camp, you've just fought and won the belt, you want to be happy for a little bit and not get back on the diet, but as I say, I'm game to fight him then, I'm game to fight him before the end of the year, I'm game to fight him next year, but we'll see what happens, we don't know.
Ilia Topuria is fighting Arman Tsarukyan. And yes, I am telling you that.
Daniel Cormier returned to the headlines, and this time he had called out Ilia Topuria. Cormier had definitively stated that Ilia should be facing Arman Tsarukyan next. He did not beat around the bush. He believes this is the fight that makes the most sense. Fans were on board in no time, filling social media with support for the call-out. The lightweight division is on fire, and this call-out just lit even more fuel.
Is Ilia pulling a John Jones? Because Arman Tsarukyan's a real threat to anybody. However, the only reason Topuria is even thinking of not fighting him is because he has other options. I love Arman, and I think he should have the opportunity to fight for the belt. He has earned that more than Paddy has. He has earned that more than Justin has. It should be Arman versus Ilia, but I think the problem with it is that lasting memory of him and Paddy Pimblett inside the octagon after the belt.
Michael Bisping chimed in as well, highlighting Ilia's new attitude toward the Arman challenge. Bisping equated Ilia's actions to those fans have seen from John Jones in the past, selectively picking fights and staying away from challenging fights. He cautioned that not fighting Arman would not paint a good picture for Ilia's reputation.
This is where it gets interesting, because the question I'm going to ask is Ilia Topuria pulling a John Jones? Because Arman Tsarukyan is a real threat to anybody, okay? He is a tremendous fighter. I know a lot of people discredit him for pulling out at the last minute, and rightly so, okay? That's not a good look. However, he's a really, really good fighter. Simple as that. He can do it all. He's got the striking, the wrestling, the cardio, the strength. He's very young. He's in his prime, and the man's an absolute monster. Simple as that. Ilia Topuria said if the UFC made him fight Arman Tsarukyan, he would vacate the belt.
As Bisping sees it, being a champion involves fighting everyone, particularly up-and-coming contenders. Bisping also stated that if Ilia Topuria continues to avoid Arman, it will damage the entire division. When champions decline tough bouts, it kills rankings, title opportunities, and fan interest overall. He cautioned that the lightweight title scenario can get ugly if Ilia only chooses name or safe opponents.
Now, you could say that Ilia is only doing this to get under the skin of Arman Tsarukyan, but it's not a good look. If you're the champion, just like when John Jones was the champion, if you're the champion, you got to fight the interim champ, if there is one. If you're the champion, you're supposed to fight the number one guy. Simple as that. Now, yes, the UFC had their reservations, and yes, there's Paddy Pimblett that got in the cage, and yes, there is Justin Gaethje.
Chael Sonnen poured more fuel on the fire. He outright stated Ilia shouldn't have his hand in selecting fights. As Sonnen put it, that's Dana White's duty, not the champ's. He indicated Ilia's recent actions make it appear he believes he's greater than the UFC. Sonnen reminded the fans that nobody gets to choose opponents at the highest level. If the business says fight Arman, you fight Arman. Sonnen's straightforward remarks riled the fans and heightened tension in the narrative.
Ilia's got his own thing, and Ilia is not out accepting fights, and he's not acknowledging that he looks at the rankings. He's not acknowledging that he's in a position where he has to do what he's told, where he works for the company. He is presenting, much like McGregor, a position of power, though he doesn't have it.
Arman Tsarukyan didn't remain silent either. He took shots on Twitter specifically at Ilia Topuria in an attempt to get inside his head. His tweets were biting and taunting, labeling Ilia as scared and weak. Arman had made it clear he's not leaving, and he badly wants that fight. He used each post to remind followers that Ilia has been quiet since the challenge. Followers began cheering Arman for being fearless and fearless. His plan is obvious: remain vocal and corner Ilia. In a recent interview, Arman Tsarukyan elaborated on why he's so sure. He mentioned the primary difference between them is wrestling. Arman feels Ilia can't keep up with him or his takedowns. He even stated that he would control the fight through pressure and grappling, and that Ilia would crack. Arman did admit Ilia has excellent striking, but he claimed that it won't be enough.
Bruce Mitchell, or what's his name? Bruce?
Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell. He's the worst fighter in 145. He took him down and like hold him like with the crazy single leg, and he took him down. Like he couldn't escape like 1 minute. He was pulling the guard. If you're good on the ground, you never pull guard. You're just trying to sweep or like get out from there. I mean, I can tell he's not high level. Yeah, on the video he pads very well and like defend the wrestling so like beautiful. But I mean, it's not WWE. I can't wait to show like everybody.
But there is one major issue. Arman does not get along with Dana White. That issue could be preventing this bout from taking place. Dana has not supported Arman over the past few months, and in matchmaking, that does count. Arman confessed as much during the interview and said it may be damaging his prospects. UFC bouts hinge sometimes on more than ability. Sometimes they hinge on politics, timing, and who the company is fond of. Even if Arman is prepared, his bumpy relationship with Dana may sabotage or destroy this massive chance.
With Arman Tsarukyan weighing in as the backup, is he getting back in the good graces with you and the...
Well, it's not about getting back in the good graces. It's about, you know, the guy had the opportunity to fight for a title and didn't make weight. It's just, I mean, you couldn't fuck up anything worse than that. But he proved, you know, now that he's not fighting for the title and he was here as a backup fighter, he made weight, so it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Ilia Topuria himself is familiar with this issue. That is one reason why he does not wish to fight Arman. He's aware that Dana White isn't pushing for Arman, so he's avoiding that matchup, and that Arman has proved to be unreliable in the past. It's smart business, but fans see it as running. Ilia wants money fights and big names. Facing Arman would be dangerous, with little reward, so for now, he's playing it safe, and that's making fans talk.
Tsarukyan es el más fácil de todos. Es mucho más fácil que Paddy, incluso te lo digo. Mucho más. Es que no sé ni qué nombre ponerle a él. Tú imagínate tener la oportunidad de pelear por el campeonato del mundo y cuando llega el día decir que te retiras porque te duele la espalda. O sea, no lo concibo, no lo puedo llegar a entender, ¿sabes?
Meanwhile, Paddy Pimblett has his own plan. He doesn't want others to earn that title shot. Paddy said aloud that the only real fight is he and Ilia. According to him, he asked fans and the media to let Arman wait for his turn.
What would you say to Tsarukyan?
Tsarukyan, you can go and weigh in as an alternate again, you know.
There we go. The message pretty...
Paddy mentioned that his star power and fan base make him the best option. He said all other names should be ignored. Paddy thinks a UK versus Spain bout sells big, and that he deserves the attention. He's not about to let Arman jump the queue.
Wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi, but he won't do a quick turnaround like that, which I understand, you know what I mean? You've just done a fight camp, you've just fought and won the belt, you want to be happy for a little bit and not get back on the diet, but as I say, I'm game to fight him then, I'm going to fight him before the end of the year, I'm going to fight him next year, but we'll see what happens, we don't know.
To everyone's shock, Chael Sonnen himself supported Paddy Pimblett. He opined that the bad blood between Ilia and Paddy has been building for years. Sonnen stated that fights like these happen very seldom and are precious in MMA. He thinks UFC should capitalize on that bad blood. The trash talk, patriotism, and fan interest ensure Ilia versus Paddy are cash cows. Sonnen conceded that although Arman is a superior fighter, Paddy versus Ilia has much more buzz.
Ilia Topuria versus Paddy is one of the truest grudges that we have in our sport right now. Some of you might not have known about it, and the rest of you might have forgot about it. But that B-roll and footage exists. Every bit as much as Masvidal and Leon exist, Ilia and Paddy exist. But how do we get there? One thing that Paddy said about his career, he said, fight Gaethje and then I'll go deal with Charles. But he had a different idea if Ilia won. If Ilia wins and that's the big grudge match, move Gaethje out of the side, he's ready for the title right now.
Though Paddy and Arman are both pursuing Ilia, Michael Bisping has it that someone else will get the opportunity, Justin Gaethje. Bisping explained that Gaethje's crazy fighting style and record make him a better choice at the moment. He believes UFC is looking to give Gaethje a reward and present fans with a battle war. Bisping informed his listeners on his podcast that Justin remains a threat, and a Gaethje versus Ilia bout would be absolute mayhem. Currently, he looks at Gaethje as the next in line, not Arman, not Paddy.
Arman Tsarukyan is ranked number 1. Okay, whether he likes it, Ilia likes it, anyone likes it. If you want to do it on a merit-based system, Arman Tsarukyan is the guy. Simple as that. Now, if you want to ask me how this all plays out, I would like to say that Ilia Topuria fights Arman Tsarukyan, but I've got a feeling it won't be that. I think Justin Gaethje might just be the guy. I think he's the guy that gets to go up against Ilia Topuria. The UFC respect Justin Gaethje. He's been around for a very long time. He puts on nothing but exciting fights. Yes, he's coming towards the end of his career, and he's kind of digging his shoes in a little bit and then saying, hey, it's title fight or bust for me. And you know what? I think the UFC will give him what he wants. So then you've got to hope that Ilia Topuria takes it. He can't start talking about, oh, Justin Gaethje doesn't deserve it, because what's going on? When you become the champion, you have an obligation to take on all comers.
Ilia Topuria was questioned recently about potential opponents. He didn't say much about it, but he did speak of Justin Gaethje. Ilia said the fight would be a great one and complimented Justin on his toughness. That has caused many fans to think that the UFC is already predisposed to choose Justin. It would be a less risky business decision than Arman. Justin is established, well-liked, and he brings violence. Even Ilia appears to be more receptive to that test, but nobody knows whether this was a diversion or an actual tease for what's to come.
Seriously, who do you think you'll be, the UFC will give you next? I'm curious, because there's a lot of guys.
I don't know. I think that they are going to try to push for Justin. This is what I think. Or maybe Paddy. There's not even a conversation about Arman.
Brendan Schaub is of the opinion that everything is already decided behind the curtain. He stated that Ilia is merely stalling, hyping himself up, and waiting for the UFC to release the announcement of the fight. As per Schaub, Ilia wants pay-per-view buys and energy from the crowd prior to signing anything. He believes Ilia versus Arman is already taken care of. They just need to wait for the right time. Schaub explained that this is how UFC constructs fights nowadays, through silence, suspense, and massive surprises. The actual plans have already gone into effect.
All right, Paddy or Arman? Arman's a problem. And Paddy, it is what it is. He has a little more clout than Arman. So even though Arman's ranked number 1, if I'm Ilia, hell yeah, give me Paddy. I make way more money, and if, let's say he fights Arman, say you were to lose, then that Paddy fight, you ain't making the same money. So I'm doing exactly what Ilia's doing. Unfortunately for Arman, I'm doing exactly what he's doing.
Good business. It's just good business.
If I'm him, yeah. I'm even going even a step further. I'm going Paddy, Justin Gaethje, then Arman.
The whole
delay it as much as I can so I get all the pay-per-view points, become the biggest star.
You think Arman can beat him?
Yeah, Arman's tough, man.
Brendan could be correct, because Chael Sonnen recently came out and confirmed it himself. Ilia versus Arman is a done deal. He explained that the contracts are essentially done and fans can expect an announcement soon. Sonnen was not shy. He told us this fight will shake the entire lightweight division. The weight is almost here, and Arman is getting what he's been begging for. UFC fans have been clamoring for this match, and it appears that it is actually going to happen.
All right, I'm gonna break. I'm gonna officially give you some of the worst kept secret matchup going on in MMA right now. But Ilia Topuria is fighting Arman Tsarukyan.
Chael Sonnen also analyzed how he believes the fight would play out. He explained that Ilia will attempt to remain on his feet, utilize movement, and not get hit by the cage. However, should Arman trap him and apply pressure, it could turn ugly in a hurry. Sonnen explained Arman's cardio and wrestling are more than most can handle. If Ilia is unable to land something big early, he can be pulled into deep waters. The game strategy is well defined for both men. This is a war of high stakes, and everyone is unwilling to blink first.
They're calling out that he said that he doesn't want to fight Arman Tsarukyan. Okay, first off, that fight is done. Just so you understand. But guys do have a recipe. They're creatures of habit. no more than when Ilia steps outside and dips, he's going to throw a hook. 100% of the time to your face, not to your body. Not looking for your liver. Not a shovel hook. He's stepping outside, boom, he's coming for with a KO punch. I mean, I'm just sharing, like, they're creatures of habit.
Ilia Topuria versus Arman Tsarukyan could be set in stone. Who do you believe wins? Smash that subscribe button and leave your picks down below. This lightweight division could never be the same again.